Is everybody here?
Say yes, nurse.
Okay. Hey guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get started because I have gone too long and I want to make sure that I don't miss a minute here. But my name is Deb Morton and I'm the Chief Nursing Officer here. This is my second day, so please forgive me. But we're going to talk a little bit about why hourly rounds and connecting purpose to practice. So what I will tell you as the chief nurse and somebody who's been doing this for over 35 years, this is probably one of the most important practices that we could do at the bedside for our patients. Why do we want to do hourly rounding? Why is this? What does this accomplish when we get this really hardwired? Do we know what hourly rounding accomplishes?
Patient outcomes, satisfaction scores, safety.
Right. Decreases falls, improves trust, decreases anxiety, it reduces HAPIs, okay? All of those things. So we have issues with all of those things, right? We're on the 11th percentile for patient satisfaction. That's super low. Last organization that I was in was around in the 86th percentile, okay? With an organization this size in the city of Oakland, okay? We've had a significant amount of falls that I'm very concerned about. We are having patients that are hurt every day, and our HAPIs are going up, okay? So we do have some care issues. This will help that, so that's why this is really important. All right, so we're gonna watch this video. This is a really great video. It's only 3.5 minutes, if I can find my mouse, there it is. And this is really kind of just teeing us up to the why we're gonna do what we're gonna do, okay? And hopefully you'll get a takeaway with that, and then we'll talk about it.
This is called How Do I Know? And a lot of times when people hear the phrase, how do I know?
Anybody see this before?
Is what? How do I know what? The key really isn't to know what. The key is to know why. Because when you know your why, you have options on what your what can be. For instance, my why is to inspire people to walk in purpose. My what is stand-up comedy. My what is writing books. My what can be going out with some friends to eat. In fact, another what that has moved me towards my why is a web series that we have out now called Break Time. So every Wednesday at 3 o'clock, you should subscribe to the channel. We do a series called Break Time on YouTube. So 3 o'clock we drop a new
I've showed
episode.
this video to
One
about
episode in particular, I'm about to show you a clip.
5,000 nurses, at least.
We're in Winston-Salem.
Probably
so Break
almost
Time, this is how it
2,000
works.
classes.
I travel the country, I do stand-up comedy, probably an hour and a half at an event. And in the middle of my show, I'll just sit down and start talking to the audience. And funny just happens. Or I'll meet somebody who's really interesting. So I met this one guy, and he said that he teaches music at a school. I was like, all right, you teach music, can you sing? And then I'm just gonna show you the clip. Check it. So you're a musical director?
Yes, sir.
All right, so let me get a couple bars of like Amazing Grace. Can you do the first part of that? Go ahead.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
Wow. That bro could sing. You know what I'm saying? All right. Now, once you give me the version, is if your uncle just got out of jail, you got shot in the back when you was a kid. I'm just saying, let me see the hood version real quick, if you know what version I'm talking about. Just see if that exists. Let me see what you got.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
Never gets old.
No, it doesn't. It's just in the break time.
So here's the thing. The first time I asked him to sing, he knew what he was doing. The second time I asked him to sing, he knew why he was doing it. When you know your why, your what has more impact because you're walking in or towards your purpose.
Okay. So that's really important to understand what he said. When you know your why.
Leadership is
right?
not a
What?
rank. Leadership is not a
Oh,
position.
Sorry.
Leadership is a decision. Leadership is a
Maybe it's
choice.
not my word. Okay. And now how do I get out of here? There's my X there.
Just turn it off.
Just turn it off. Oh, you escaped it. Okay. Alrighty. So that's a really important video. It says it a lot better than I could say it, right? So what is our what? What's our what as a nurse leader? What's our what?
Providing an exceptional experience for our patients and our staff.
Right, it's our job. It's I gotta come, it's my tasks, right? I gotta come into work, I gotta make sure everybody showed up, I gotta do the schedule, I gotta attend my meetings, I gotta answer my emails. It's my what. I get up and I do it every single day, right? But the key is the connection to the why, right? So when you think about our frontline nurses, their what is, they come in, they do their assessment, they give their meds, they document, right? That's their what, it's their tasks. And that's great, and we have to do that. That's important to do those things. But we're not really fulfilling our purpose if we don't know our why. So why do you get up every morning and come to work? Why do you do your assessment? Why do you give your medications on time? Why do you document? Why do you do the things that you do, right? There has to be that connection. So as we go through these hourly roundings, I want you to think about that video and what that means, okay? Hi there. All right, so how many of you have heard of Watson's Caring Theory? Okay, so I am a Caritas coach. I spent 6 months with Jean learning her theory. I use this theory in my professional and my personal life. This helps connect me to the why. I wish I would have had this a long time ago when I was a younger nurse. I think I would have had maybe a more fulfilling career in nursing, but it really has been transformational for me to learn how to connect this to my why and my what, okay? So she's got 4 elements. One of her elements is the Caritas processes. These are kind of like the 10 commandments, all right? So I'm gonna go fast through these. There's books on these. There's whole books on just one of them. That's how much information's on here. But I want you to think about, when I talk about these practices, how you would connect them to hourly rounds. The reason why you need to understand this is you have to help your nurses as you do validation and hold them accountable to the why you're wanting them to do this, okay? Because they already know the task. They already know how to do hourly rounds. The key is that they need to understand why they're doing them and want to do it. So the first one is practicing love and kindness and equanimity to yourself and to others. Why do you think this is the first one? Why do you think this is the first behavior that we have to incorporate into our practice and who we are? Loving kindness to yourself. Why do you have to show love and kindness to yourself?
You can't pour from an empty cup.
That's right, you can't pour from an empty cup. If I don't take care of myself, then how am I supposed to take care of my patients, my family, right? So you have to be whole. So we exercise, we take the weekends off, we go on vacations, whatever it is. You drink a glass of wine at night, you have a hot tub, a spa, a manicure, pedicure. You have to do something to replenish. If you don't and you go, you are not as effective. So our nurses need to do that. This is how they burn out. This is burnout right here when we're not doing that, okay? To be authentically present with another human being. So when you think about hourly rounding and they go into a patient's room, what does authentic presence look like to the patient, and why is this important?
Eye contact, active listening,
Not
Yeah.
moving around.
Trust.
Supposed to,
Yeah.
Right,
sitting down on their level so you can look at them.
that's right. Can you feel when somebody's authentic and when somebody's not authentic, right? It's, right, they don't have to say anything, you just sense the authenticity, right? It's interesting, but you can sense it. Our patients sense that. So when we are authentically present with another human being, that means something to them. So when you're doing this validation and you're coaching your nurses, you want to make sure that doing all those things that you just talked about, eye contact, right, listening, sitting down, okay? Cultivating your own spiritual practice and deepening your own self-awareness. So this is interesting because as a nurse leader and a nurse for 30 some years, we don't always see ourselves as other people see us, right? So there needs to be some way that we can self-reflect and say, you know what, that day didn't go so great. My experience with that patient didn't go so great. My experience with my boss didn't go so great. What did I do to create that, and what can I do differently? And that's really what's important. And whatever that spiritual practice is, whether it's going to church that helps you connect to that, whether it's meditation, whether it's walking, whether it's having a best friend that you can talk to, there needs to be something that you do to create that self-awareness, okay? Developing and sustaining a helping, trusting, authentic, and caring relationship, okay? This process really sums up hourly rounding, right? Because we're developing trust. I think that's what you said, right? We're being authentic in that moment with that person, and we're showing this we're helping them, and we're creating that caring relationship. This is what people need and want when their patients here. They expect this when they come here, that you know what you're doing, that I can trust you, that you're going to give me the right medications, you're going to prevent my mother from falling, right? So as we round frequently and consistently, we create that trust. So we know that when we do that, our patient's perception of care is better. So frequent and consistent rounds, okay? Being present to support the expression of positive and negative feelings. So sometimes our patients are going to be so happy, and that's okay, right? Because they're got bad news or they're not feeling well, and we're not here to judge. We're not here to judge that they may drink too much, or they have a drug problem, or they were in a car accident and it was their fault, right? That's not what we do, right? We accept them where they're at, the positive and negative. To create use of self and all ways of knowing, doing as the caring process, okay? We're not just here to treat and treat. We're not here to just do tests, draw blood, take them to x-ray, and then give them the discharge instructions and go home. We're here for the mind, body, and the soul, right? It's everything. That's right, that's right. So this is a really important one because people forget, the nurses, me included, become very task-oriented. And that gets us that's where we start to get in trouble, right? So really important that we're here for the mind, body, and soul, for everything. To engage in genuine and learning teaching, okay? We are teachers as nurses. This is your diagnosis. This is why you're here. This is why you can't go home today. This is the medication you're taking. This is new. This is the purpose. This is the side effect. We are teachers as much as we are as nurses. And when our patients are informed, they feel more safe. And we know that when people feel safe, they feel less anxious. Their perception of care is better. So it's all encompassing, okay? To create a healing environment at all levels. How do we create a healing environment for our patients?
Physical environment,
Anything.
lighting.
Lighting, yep. Right? Patients depressed, remember opening up the curtains. Let's get some sunshine in here. Patient has a headache. I'm making the room dark. How else do we create an environment, a healing environment?
I think being compassionate.
Yeah, our energy, right? How we show up, right? Creates the energy for other people. If I come in here and I'm all mad and I have my head down and I'm talking like monotone, that creates the energy in the room. If I come with passion and excitement, that creates the energy in the room. So we are the healing environment. We create that, okay? And we do this when we're rounding, right? Because that's when we're spending the most time with our patients, when we're rounding. Respectfully assisting with basic needs, caring consciousness of touching, okay? This is one of my favorite. This really exemplifies empathy and compassion for me. Think about a person was here one day, going to the bathroom themselves and being able to brush their teeth and had a stroke, and now they can't get to the bathroom, they can't brush their teeth, right? Totally incapacitated. Can you imagine what the shift is in their life, right? For someone to care for them, to take them to the bathroom,